We're here now with Kathy Doehrty-Masters, who ran the torch. How are you selected?
I entered both the RBC and Coke contests, and through the Coke contest I had to write an essay about how I live Olympic, and so I submitted that in May, and then in August I found out that they had selected me from what I had written on my essay. And on my essay I talked about the fact that I'm the Healthy Active Living Consultant for our Catholic School Board, and all of the special projects I get to do related to that, and that I've also been to both Athens and Beijing to visit the Olympics, and they had liked what I've written.
What was your reaction when you found out that you were selected?
When I was selected, my husband actually called me on the phone because they had left a message at my house, and I was ecstatic. I was driving home from picking my kids up, and I'd roll down the windows, and every time we stopped somewhere I yelled out the window I'd been selected as a torchbearer, and I was on cloud nine and have been ever since.
Where did you run the torch?
I had to make 3 selections as to where I would run if I was chosen. My first selections were Kitchener and London, and then my second choice was the Niagara region, just because of the date and the proximity. So I actually ran a 300-meter section in Welland.
What was that experience like for you?
You know, the experience of running the 300 meters was just fantastic, but it was the whole experience that was very special. We meet as a group of torchbearers 2 hours before and went through a briefing, and the person who was our mentor was an extremely proud Canadian, and he was fantastic at getting across to us the significance of being chosen as a torchbearer, what it meant to be carrying the Olympic flame, and that part of it was just as fantastic as running the 300 meters. Because I was away from my family, only my husband and 2 boys were able to go, but because it wasn't really busy, they were able to run along beside me on the sidewalk, so that was really fun too. And Vancouver also has a live webcam, so my mom and my dad and my sister were able to see it from home, so that was great too.
Were you able to meet anybody like extraordinary throughout this experience?
Well, one of the things they do as torchbearers is they have you get on the bus beforehand, and we go around and everybody tells their story as to why they were chosen, and I met some really interesting people. One of the people that I met was a hockey mom. She had 6 boys, and her husband had just died of cancer 2 years previous, and I thought, wow, you're an incredibly strong person. I also met a young person who was 14 who worked at a burn victims camp in the summertime. The person I handed off to was the person who founded West 49, the clothing store. So I met Sam. He was a fantastic person, and so there were lots of other really neat Canadians that were sharing that experience.
Now you got to run with the torch twice. Can you sort of explain that for us?
Yep. Each time the torch stops at a celebration, the organizing committee is allowed to choose their final torchbearer, and in this case, when it stopped in Kitchener, the organizing committee chose my dad, Pat Doehrty, for all of the work that he's done with minor hockey across the country. And on November the 18th, he suffered a near-fatal heart attack and weren't sure if he was going to be able to carry the torch, but he recovered to the point where he was able to do it, but not able to walk. Even though he could walk, he just wasn't strong enough to walk the last 300 meters. So I was chosen to drive him in a golf cart. And so we drove down King Street after he had lit the torch, right up to almost to the stage, and then he got off and was able to walk the last bit. So our family got to enjoy it twice, which was really special.
What was it like traveling with the flame and everybody involved?
Well, the actual flame has a convoy of 14 vehicles, and including 4 RCMP and the sponsors, which are Coke and RBC, and just to see that convoy and the excitement and enthusiasm of those people that do that every single day was just fantastic. But in terms of my own travel with this torch, after I received it and ran, we have, as a family, been to many other events and so on, where people are just in awe that they can actually touch it and feel it and have their picture taken and so on. I've been to hockey arenas, I've been to schools, and I have many more visits planned upcoming. So it's special to enjoy it again and again and again, and to share it with Canadians. That's important.
What was this overall experience like for you?
You know, it was truly a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and I've been fortunate enough to have many great experiences in my life, and I certainly chalk this one up as one of the greatest ones. But From the question you just asked me, the most important part is being able to share it with other Canadians, and that's been a very, very special part. I don't think any other experience that I've had in my life I've been able to share so much as I have with this one, so that's what makes it really special.
And how was it like coming to Res after carrying the torch?
It was great because I know some of the kids here, but even kids that I don't know, they're just drawn toward it. As soon as I went into the forum, kids just came over and said, "Is that the real torch?" And people don't think it's real. It's like, yeah, it's the real one. And just to see the looks on their faces and taking pictures, that's a lot of fun for me.
Well, congratulations. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay.